Hello! Welcome to this episode of the FANMEN podcast. I'm DJ Gove.
Shawn Hogarty.
And we don't have Chris Davis today, but we kind of upgraded a little bit.
Uh-oh.
So we're doing this. I'm live from Red Bank. Oh, sorry. What's East New Jersey?
Eatontown,
New Jersey.
East New Jersey.
East New Jersey, yeah.
Eatontown, New Jersey. Beautiful Eatontown.
At the Shared Universe studio.
A Shared Universe podcast studios.
And we got Shawn live on the Skype.
Yes, I am here.
So filling in for Chris Davis today is Mike Zapsik.
Mike Zapsik. Hey, everybody. Hey, thank you.
From AMC's Comic Book Men, the TV show that should still be on TV.
Is Avis, yes. I'm sitting in for Is Avis.
Yes. And, yeah, we have no Is Avis today.
So that's a bummer. But
boys,
this is DJ's second time here in the podcast studio.
Yep.
Loved having you here first time. You guys were great. You were here, was it a year ago?
A little bit under. It was Vulgarthon last year.
Vulgarthon, okay. So,
August.
but it was a Kevin Smith thing.
Yes.
It was a Kevin Smith event that brought you into town.
Yes.
So, and yet tomorrow we have another Kevin Smith event
that we do
in town.
That we do.
And most people, I've gotten so many phone calls. If I can just take 3 seconds.
Oh, go nuts.
To
just
throw and I'm hoping that these people who are coming to this signing are listening in to what I have to say right now. It is strictly limited to 150 people.
Yes.
The first 150. Yeah, we had to, you know what? Kevin's awesome. And Kevin wanted to do a signing because Kevin loves his fans. So we did, he just put out a new series. He's Hit Girl. You're taking my thunder away, Shawn.
Sorry, I'm a fan.
God damn it, Hogarty.
Right, Jesus. So, Kevin is playing in Mark Miller's Sandbox, and he's doing Hit Girl. So the first 3 are out now, and Kevin just hot off Jay and Silent Bob reboot down in New Orleans, decided that, he's like, you know what? I don't need to sleep anymore. So I'm going to come up to Jersey and do a signing there. So we've got a bundle, and it's strictly limited to 150 people. 150 because it's a bundle that we're selling tomorrow. The first 150 people that get there. You know what? There's no real fair way to do this except first come, first serve.
Sure.
So, we could do the online sales, but you get those people who buy, who get in there with I have no idea how the interwebs work, but I know that there are people out there there's one guy out there who can get all 150 at once, just in the first 2 seconds. And it's not really fair to everyone else because this guy's going to scalp the shit out of him.
It's true.
So, Kevin thought that would be the fairest way to do it. I'm not trying. A year ago, little more than a year ago, he had a heart attack.
Yep.
I want to make sure that he sticks around to do more Hit Girls. So, and more Detective. I wanted him to do Detective 2000. So that's part of the bundle too. So, folks, you get there, you buy the bundle. It's $25 for all 4 of the books, and that counts as one of your things. And you can bring 4 other things for Kevin to sign, take a picture. Generally speaking, these things, when you see these people, it's about 5. Kevin spends 5 minutes with each person, and he gives you his undivided attention. And we did, we divided. And we're like, how? And it's like, 150. That's about.
And you'll still run over.
We're still going to go till about 8, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So
on Tuesday, it would be 8 p.m. on Tuesday by the time he's done with everybody.
So and DJ was telling me that somebody was scalping last year, and I was like, if I had known that people were scalping last year, I would have demanded that, I got my beak wet,
Exactly.
So
I'm just
God's
saying,
sakes.
You could charge more than 25. I would have paid it still. So.
All right. Well, you know what? Suckers
Don't
us.
say
Next
that,
year.
DJ.
Next year.
Yeah.
Vulgarthon's going to cost $1,000.
When Detective Comics 2000 comes out, it's going to be a lot more.
They're very cool. Yeah. Excellent.
You'll have to pay my grandkids much more money.
So how?
Go ahead, Shawn. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say how are you? So tomorrow's not just a Kevin event. It's two pretty big days for us nerd folk.
It's
Star Wars Day.
Yes, it is. It's May 4th. May the 4th be with you.
And it's also Free Comic Book Day.
Yeah, that's always fun. Yeah, as Tell 'em Steve Dave, the gentleman on Tell 'em Steve Dave like to say, it's when the termites come out for their free cheese. So, which is a mixed metaphor at best, but still,
Right.
The termites come out for their free cheese. I'm like, no, it's rats, Walt, but you know.
Yeah, I think this year is going to be a little worse than years previous because I think was it last year? I think for Free Comic Book Day there was a Umbrella Academy book given out on Free Comic Book Day.
Yes.
And now that book is worth about $150.
Well, if it was signed by Kevin, because he also did this signing last year on Free Comic.
No, just the base ones.
Yeah,
it's like it's insane.
Should have had signed by Kevin, $300.
There we go. Exactly.
Well, the interesting thing for me, Mike, is that when DJ was last there with you and Chris was, it was August 1st. We had just come down for Vulgarthon the next day.
Right.
I wasn't able to come over to record with you guys because I'd made arrangements to have dinner over at the diner with a bunch of Tell 'em Steve Dave fans. But
sucker.
The day kind of sticks with us, though. That trip was really the beginning of Chris and DJ and I hanging out as a unit. DJ kind of put together the podcast idea, but it also just kind of formed the legend of FANMEN with me ending up severely injured. I did the Vulgarthon marathon after spending most of the night at the emergency room and then on drugs through the entire thing and ended up having back surgery and stuff. So,
oh my God.
It was a fun weekend.
That's right. We were talking about that, weren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. That was you, Shawn.
Yep. And then he got hurt down in New Orleans filming Reboot.
That's true.
So basically, Shawn can't leave his house anymore.
Yeah.
The wife's cut him off.
Shawn, stay there. Just
stay
there.
I'm in my basement here, right? I did not come down. Didn't want to tempt fate.
Okay, but something's going to happen to you in your basement now. Then make sure. Yeah, seriously, make sure that everything's shored up, please.
Yeah, I'll make sure.
That would be most. That is the most important thing, is that no timbers fall on you. That's all I'm saying.
Timbers. Yeah, no, I think I'm safe here.
Yeah,
knock on wood.
We're gonna bring him down again. We want to come down, the three of us, this summer. Hopefully, once we can get away. So
wear your Iron Man suit.
There you go. Or your Bubble Boy costume.
Yeah. Just wrap yourself in bubble wrap. That'll work.
Sweet, glorious bubble wrap.
It is excellent. DJ, did you happen to show Mike the Chris Davis?
I did
graphic?
not. I did not.
S. Avis? No, I didn't see anything by S. Avis.
Trying to see if I have it.
Cool that a fan and fellow fan did for us. We've been creating this legend of the Chris Davis, and Stephen Grist came down. He's a fellow fan and the composer of that Shecky Don't Like It song.
Right.
He came down to guest with us a week or so ago, and reveals the fact that he's wearing that shirt during the recording.
It was hilarious.
And just,
that's great.
As Chris, of course, pretended not to like it, but
really? Did he? He's like, oh, this sucks. Oh, this is horrible. Of course he did. What an ego! Of course it's an ego boost, for God's sakes. Somebody's wearing my face on a T-shirt. That's so weird.
I think he's buying himself a pillow with his own face on it to sleep on. So.
Of course. Why? Well, why not? Why wouldn't you?
You have to, right?
Mother's Day, his wife's getting socks with that photo on it.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good one. Shawn, we need socks. We need to put socks in the store somehow.
I think you can get about anything on anything these days with the internet.
You can. So, Shawn, you pick up anything collectible-wise since the last time we talked?
So I haven't made it by the comic store to pick up anything. I don't think I've actually bought anything in recent memory, which is actually good from a financial perspective.
Ooh, very nice.
But I've been on the edge. I've been looking at a copy of Detective 359, maybe graded. It's one of the few holes in my detective run from the 60s to now, and that's potentially a $2,000 book. I'm more likely to get one for a few $100, low grade, but I really kind of want a copy, and I've been looking at some like 2.5 graded ones, but I probably won't get one anytime soon, but I've been itching.
Nice. I picked up I got it from you, Shawn. The Teen Titans #2, first Deathstroke.
Oh, very nice.
It's time to put my Teen Titans run back together, and I got my Jewish contract set from the Hall of Comics back home. And then
you got to enunciate because I thought you said Jewish contract. I'm like the Jewish contract. I'm like, what the hell?
You never.
I talk. It's a Massachusetts thing. I talk super duper fast.
That's great, but let us get that. Okay, because
I got
Judas,
the Judas contract books.
Oh my, that's good. Better than the Jewish contract because I'm like, all right, I was. Did Will Eisner do another thing before? Okay.
The Jewish Contract, a very underrated comic series.
Yes, I'm sure.
Used to have to send in 5 UPCs off of matzah boxes.
Yes, you did, and one Gefilte fish.
There we go.
Gotcha.
Yeah, yes. Good stuff. So
that's one of the challenges, Mike, in podcasting with DJ. Is Chris has a nice, smooth, low voice. I don't tend to talk very quickly. DJ talks quickly. Slurs everything.
Good boy.
I jumble shit. Yeah.
That's excellent. See, there's nothing wrong with that. You need that one guy in there. Ming likes to do that too. Right.
Yeah.
I am that one guy. Yeah. So I got the Teen Titans 2 from Shawn, and I also I put the pre-order down on the Hot Toys Captain America from Endgame.
Oh,
I had
does he
to
come with a hammer?
Gavin hasn't seen Endgame yet.
Spoiler.
No
spoilers. So he does. He comes with you know what and you know what.
Nice.
So I had to get that.
I think Gavin's not on headphones.
That's true. Oh, that's true. Yeah, Gavin can't hear what you say. So yeah, he does. He does come with that. And then also I got Gavin brought it to me. I picked up one of O'Halloran's costumes from Clerks 2.
No way.
Yeah,
awesome.
so I have the the brown thermal and the jeans and the shoes when they're getting ready to open the quick stop back up.
Right.
That's cool.
So Gavin brought me my first ever screen used item from my collection of stuff.
Does it come with the underwear?
Well, I had to have the underwear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you got to have his skid marks.
A little lacier than I thought they were going to be, but
there was a box of stuff that had just been lying around in. Kevin just threw it into storage, and it was in a storage facility. And it was in Ming's office forever. And there was a pair of Linda Fiorentino's underwear in there. And every time I'd walk into Ming's office, I'm like, why do you have a pair of women's underwear? And he's like, oh, they're Linda Fiorentino's. I'm like, I don't even want to know. And so in my mind, I've got this entire story of, well, Ming was on the set of Dogma and he was skulking around and picking up what he could get. So, yeah, she actually turned it in with the rest of her clothing, I guess. I don't know. I would have kept the underwear. That's just me, though.
Yeah, unless it's shown on screen, right? I mean, generally you wouldn't think that would be part of the costume. But if there's a screen, if there's a shot where that's actually exposed, then it's
fair game. You're saying, is that what you're trying to say?
I still think it's strange.
All right,
screen used.
I'm sure they were screen used. You just couldn't see them.
Is it screen used if it's not actually seen? Right.
Unless you're assuming everyone's going commando. Yes, it counts.
Potato, Shawn. It's like,
yes, come on.
It's all the same thing.
So,
what do we want to talk about tonight, Shawn?
Well, one thing that I thought would be kind of interesting with the opportunity to talk to you, Mike, is just general con experiences, right? Each of us has a different way that we've interacted with cons. DJ's kind of the crazy guy who goes to a lot of cons, has done a lot of pretty cool cosplay, put a lot of effort into that, spent a lot of time getting signatures, meeting celebs, things like that. I've only gone to a few. I did make a pilgrimage out to San Diego Comic-Con 2017. That was a big deal for me, but I haven't done that many. And then obviously your experience is all over the map, but especially, on the other side of the table, you've been a celebrity as well as a fan.
Thank you. Yeah, you're I started out as a fan. I started out doing we would go to Chiller. We went as a matter of fact, Walt, Sunday Jeff and I went up to Chiller Theater God, it was 2003 or 4. And this is back when it was in Secaucus at this really rundown Hilton. And it was, most of the celebrities weren't even in the hotel. They were out in this big, they had a tent. And if you know anything about Chiller, it's always in April or in October, around Easter and Halloween-ish. Yeah. So, but Chiller is more horror con, and it's gotten to be like the B and C listers, and they get some really good names up there, but for the most part, it's, you know, they've got a lot of names on there. Like Larry Storch was there last time. I didn't even know Larry Storch was still alive. So I'm like, Agarn from F Troop. And I'm like, who the fuck knows what F Troop is anymore? I mean,
not the biggest draw.
But we're old.
Yeah, we are. And thank God for it. So, and because we got to see the great bands. So, I mean,
true.
You know, pardon my French, but fuck the Jonas Brothers. I would much rather have seen, Flock of Seagulls.
It's funny. I actually just got the text from my daughter. I want Jonas Brothers tickets for my birthday.
All right, well.
Like, great.
Well, then you're going to see the Jonas Brothers.
I've seen them twice already. With Hannah Montana. That was Christmas when she was 5. Anyway.
Yes.
All right, fine, whatever. Thank God my kids don't drag me into that bullshit. But we went up there and we saw Joni, and we saw Joni from Happy Days. We saw Aaron Moran, Potsy, and Ralph Malph. And we're like, holy crap, they're just standing there like normal people talking to each other. And Walt has gone. Walt does not do cons as a rule, but every once in a while he will go and do a con. And those are joyous times for me because he's always like, nobody's going to come to see us. No, people hate them. Why are they going to come over and give us money to get an autograph? Or why are we doing this? And and Brian's like, yeah, this sucks, but it's so much fun to hear them going off on like, yeah, this, and no one wants to come. And then we get that line, and he's like, yeah, wow, all right, this is pretty cool.
I mean, you guys are special, right? I know you poo-poo the celebrity and stuff like that, but you guys are normal and accessible and just fun to talk to, and it's less intimidating because people hear your voices, people, podcasts, and so I think you are much more normal than most other, celebrities you might meet at the con.
Again, thank you. It cracks me the hell up that you call me normal, but I suppose I find it. I'm less Ming, and I'm more Brian and Walt, which scares the living shit out of me because. I've known them all for like going on 24 years, 24 years. And I mean, Walt, the self-professed most normal person on the face of the earth,
wants nothing to do with anybody.
Exactly. Walt is one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. He would do anything for, I've seen it. He's done anything for a fan. And he's been taken advantage of more than once. And I'm like, all right, dude, not to him, but there have been people who are like, hey, can you sign this? And can you sign this? And can I get this made into a tattoo? And can you come over and paint my house? And and it's like, dude, get away from to leave the guy alone, for God's sakes.
Well, I love the combination of the knowledge that he is that way, but the personality he exudes, like in the podcast and stuff. The heart is not really out there. He's kind of crusty, and you see the closeness with you guys, but not, he doesn't seem very warm and fuzzy, but it peeks through when you see the types of things he does for fans and the way he treats people.
He is, I'm still getting to, like I said, I've known Walt for over 20 years, and I'm still getting to know him. He is one of the, I'll put it to you this way. About 5 years ago, we were doing something, and Kevin and I were standing next to each other, and Kevin tells me the story that when they first opened the shop, he and Muse used to go out and do their Star Wars figures run to keep Muse occupied, when he was going through the methadone. Mm-hmm. And he'd bring the stuff back early in the morning, and he'd put it up, and he was very proud of the way that he did it. And then he'd come back later that night, and everything would be changed. And he's like, "Oh, it's like this is my store, but I'm getting thrown out of the way," because Walt would rearrange it so it looked. And he's like, and I gotta say, it did look better. He's like, I know. Ultimately, I knew that this was for the best, but it still was like, "Oh," and he's like, for the past, as a matter of fact, he said that most of his career has been in the pursuit of making Walt Flanagan laugh.
Yeah.
Not Brian Johnson,
but
Walt Flanagan, because Walt Flanagan is a lot tougher. Walt Flanagan does have, and he's said it before, he's like, I do the polite laugh for you guys a lot, especially you and Ming, Mike. You get that genuine laugh, you're floating for days. So I'm sorry, but I like veer off course. Getting back to the con thing.
We do it all the time.
Yeah.
So I guess, yes, I do have a unique perspective as being like on both sides of that table.
Exactly.
I don't do as many cons anymore as Ming, mainly for a bunch of reasons. We've got the podcast studio now. Mm-hmm. Somebody's got to stick around and do it. Ming is doing all these cons. He's out in Atlanta this weekend, and he's officiating a wedding. He finally jumped in and got his Universal Life Church certification, which I mean that tells you that his credit card went through, so that's good. So that means that out of the 5 comic book men, 4 of us could marry you.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
I mean, marry you and somebody else.
Yeah, that would be bigamy.
In a legal. It would be bigamy, exactly.
Or polygamy, yeah.
A big polygamy, whatever. So, I appreciate what everyone does at these cons. I look at the huge stars that I've met. I mean, I take a look around here. We've got some pretty cool pictures of people that we've met. A lot of the people we've met because of the show, Comic Book Men, which is streaming on Amazon Prime, folks. Show them that you still love us. But Billy D. Williams. These are people that I grew up with. We met Billy D. a couple times. He was on the show. Stan, of course. When he passed, the one thing that I was thinking of, and Ming put it down in words on a Facebook tribute, but this is something I get to tell my grandchildren about. I moderated a panel with Stanley and Todd McFarlane.
That's amazing.
Which is insane.
I know.
That's
nuts.
Well, I also what
you like you said, well before you were on the show or anything else, you've been a comic book collector, reader, fan, and worker. Could you have believed that you'd be able to say that statement or any of the other things you've done back in those days?
No, of course not. No way. I mean, I moderated a panel with Justin Roiland and Dan Harmon. I got to meet like these two at the height of their game right now. They are perhaps I don't know if Shawn, you probably do remember, but when Saturday Night Live first came on the air, it was they called it like the like the new Camelot of comedy.
Yeah.
This was comedy was being reinvented by these guys. And I went back and I watched the first season of Saturday Night Live, and wow, it was Camelot left a lot to be desired.
It was
but
not good.
You could feel there was energy there.
There was passion and creativity and enablement, right? Just the fact that they had the opportunity to put stuff out there so quickly and creatively. Yes. That was really it.
That was the thing. But I mean, you knew that. They were being. It's sort of like watching the very first season of Mystery Science Theater.
Yeah,
it became a dynamo. It became this this cultural phenomenon, and often imitated, never duplicated. It was that thing, and you saw that like you said, the raw passion, it was there. Everything was falling into place. So by season 2, they were well on their way, and by season 3, boom, they had it.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's.
It takes time to get into that groove, but it is that
exactly.
That sort of thing.
So that's what I liken, Dan Harmon and Justin Roiland to. So for me, that was like, holy crap, these guys are like, they're comedy royalty.
Yeah.
Well, I put off for a while listening or watching Rick and Morty, though I'd heard lots of things.
Mm-hmm.
I think it might have been season 2. They did they animated some kind of courtroom.
Oh my God! Yes, in Georgia.
Yeah, and I hadn't actually watched the show up to that point, though I'd heard clips, heard the voices, but I watched that for some reason, and it just blew me away how awesome that was. And I finally did mainline the series, and it's just so sharp and hilarious and ridiculously well done.
Yeah, when Community was on the air, I would watch it every once in a while, but it was on at a really weird time, and it might have been on at like Monday at 8:00, which was not really a weird time. It was a weird time in my life, That's like I can't commit to another show or whatever, and now I'm on like my 5th or 6th rewatching, and you pick up little things that they do, and you're like, oh my God, this is mind blowing. This is, I mean, every one of these characters has not just 1, not just 2, but like 53 different layers. And even the throwaway people like Fat Neil and Chang, for God's sakes. Ken Jeong.
Oh, yeah. He's the Spanish teacher?
Yeah, El Tigre.
Something you said just reminded me of something that's so different nowadays. The idea of watching a show at a particular time is such a, or having something that doesn't work for your life. Our local comic book shop, the Hall of Comics in Southborough, Massachusetts.
Don't mention how the comic store's near Mike.
No, go ahead. No, I love comic book stores, man.
Yeah, it's a great store, man. Just outside of Boston, and they started doing kind of these nightly auction, or every Monday night they do a really cool auction. They have a really great format. It's all on Facebook and everything, and it's really great. Unfortunately, my commute sucks. I don't get home until about 6:30 or 7 every night. The last thing I'm going to do or be allowed to do by the family is,
of course,
then go sit in front of a screen and type and spend money on comics. So I just never make it. But it's one of those few things where so much of our lives now are driven by schedules that are of our own making. You watch what you want when you want. You listen to podcasts. You aren't listening to Drive Time Radio. I'm listening to, I Sell Comics and Tell 'em Steve Dave and Fat Man and all these different things.
Thank you for throwing us in there first. I get it. Just so everyone out there knows this, I want this out there on another podcast, not just, the Ming and Mike show or anything that I'm involved in. I am holding back 300 to spite Brian Johnson. So because he demanded that he demanded the ants to get together and demand the release of 300, which makes me happy because if anyone ever told him what to do, he would. I swear to God, he would break the sound barrier telling that person to go fuck themselves.
He'd delete the file.
Exactly. He would, yes. Just this one you mean? Boom. There you go. And go fuck
coming
yourself.
Up soon. Yeah, go fuck yourself. Here comes 401.
You totally should. I totally understand it. I appreciate the unique opportunity to just twist a little knife. You never know when those bits of power come up. But don't let them go.
And you know what? Brian is one of the funniest people I have ever met. And this pleases me no end. So I get to do my little wow, I'm a jerk off kind of thing. So
there you go.
I get to beat Brian at his own game.
I'll have to hold back episode 26.
All right.
Once we get there.
Oh yeah, we got a ways to go.
Yeah, ways to go.
Yeah, I'm not sure we'll ever make hundreds.
Oh yeah, you will. It's just about being consistent.
Yeah. We just have to survive.
surviving is also good. Now, did you have a specific question? Since I like totally hijacked the whole convention thing. What you have to have a question, Shawn, because you went here.
Well, actually, you actually got into it. Just I was interested in kind of your experience like that. You know, mine. I've only been to a few. One of them, I actually, met you guys down at Terrificon. I don't know if you remember signing an iguana.
Sure do.
Yeah, so that was Eugene. I brought Eugene with me, and that was one of my more unique experiences. I really brought it down just to show to Brian, and because it was kind of a tell him Steve Dave, Eugene the Iguana thing.
Of course, and I find it amusing that Brian actually showed up to that convention. So
yeah, he deserves all the shit you can give him. But I ended up having like 20 people sign it. I spent ridiculous amounts of money having random people sign my iguana. And it changed the entire nature of the convention for me because it was a great conversation piece. It was, it gave you something to talk about. It wasn't just, hey, sign this, take a picture with me. It was, why the hell are you bringing me this? And it definitely, usually most people haven't signed iguanas.
That's true, and it was a first for me as well. I've signed a baby. I've signed an iguana. Cool. One of the things that I love to do at cons, one of the things that I guess it's one of the perks of being invited to a con is getting to meet people that you see on TV, the people that you're like, this is really awesome, and have them have a find some footing where you both are, you're on equal,
as humans, right?
Exactly.
Whether you've both been on TV or just, you both take crap, have bad days, and and deal with shit. The conversation opportunity is a totally different experience than me sitting and watching you on a TV.
Oh, hell yeah. I got to meet Eddie McClintock, and my wife and I are in the middle of about 12 different binge watches right now. So, but Warehouse 13, I can't recommend it enough.
Super underrated show.
It is so underrated as a show.
My wife loves that show.
It's such a kick-ass show. I mean, they play Eddie McClintock plays Treasury Agent Pete Latimer, and he's guided by his gut and his heart, and I think that that's essentially what it is. But the basic conceit of the show is, you remember the warehouse at the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark?
Yes.
It's real. It's real, and damned if they don't have, Houdini's
shackles.
Houdini's chastity belt, or you
Edgar
got a
Allan
whole
Poe's
bunch of stuff
quill
in there.
Stuff.
Yeah.
And all these things have like supernatural powers to them.
Yeah, and they can make you do stuff, and they're really,
it's fucking rad.
They've got some pretty nasty side effects. Like, they'll drive you insane. They have C.S. Lewis's his mirror.
The Jabberwocky mirror, right?
Yes, it allows you to go, or allows something to come over and possess you from Wonderland, and it's Alice. So there's a whole bunch of these things, and so I was talking to him, and he had a mouthful of food. And I wandered up to him, I'm like, I have to say this, Mr. McClintock, I love you so much on, and he's like, thank you very much. He's like, let me just swallow. I'll shake your hand as soon as I put my plate down. And he did. He comes over. He's like, thank you so much. What's your name? And, this was when I think Comic Book Men was on season 1 or 2. And he's like, I'm going to have to check that show out. I doubt he did. I kind of hope he did. But, here's a guy who's got so much going on. But 2 days, that was a Friday. I didn't see him on Saturday, but Sunday I saw him there. We were having lunch, and he's like, hey, Mike, how you doing? And he remembered my name. I mean, I thought that was really sweet. He didn't have to do that. I mean, he could have been like, hey, Guy, how you doing? What's up, Ace? Yeah. I would have been perfectly fine with being called Ace.
That's huge.
Awesome.
Yes.
We went to Comic-Con one year. It was the year Justice League was Wonder Woman was just got announced.
Mhm.
So BVS was just getting ready to come out.
Mhm.
And Gal Gadot was there. So my daughter was a huge Wonder Woman fan. I raised her on the Linda Carter shit, all that. So we go there. We had like the VIP pass for her. So first thing in the morning, we're in line, 15,000 people in line. In front of us, I think, Shawn, we've told this story before. We had like the normal sweatpant crowd you have when you have like a attractive actress like that. So I gave her heads up, but hey, this is not going to be a ton of time. It's going to be bing, bang, boom. There's a million people. Goes up there. She's got the full Wonder Woman thing. We made her the whole thing, like leather cuffs and the whole nine. Loves her costume. Spent like 10 minutes talking to her.
Yeah.
Whip my kid up. We go back for the photo op at at night. It was probably 9 hours later. Same thing. She walked right in the curtain, remembered her name, went over, gave her hugs when she was pregnant too, with her second kid. So no one was allowed to touch her. You had to stand on next. Picture we have, she's pulled my kid and got her arm around her, and she'll always remember that. It just made her friggin' day. So it's not simply remembering the name. It's cool.
And isn't that? I mean, let's be honest. Isn't that what draws so many people to Kevin?
Yeah.
He's a steel trap.
He is.
Engagement.
When you're up there, and this is the way I'm assuming was even before fame hit him. And he's been this way since I've known him. And again, going on like 20 years. I mean, I was a customer before I was an employee at the stash. So, I mean, I went in and he was jockeying the counter, and there was one time and he had an advanced copy of like a Superman Adventures.
Okay.
And it was that was probably me. Sorry.
That's okay. No problem.
He was, Superman. I'm sorry. Yeah, I got like confused. I'm like, what the hell? He had an advanced copy of Superman Adventures. It was the funeral for Dan Turpin. I don't know if you remember. Dan Turpin was one of the cops in Metropolis. He was like an old timey kind of cop, but he was also based on partly on Jack Kirby.
Oh, okay.
So it was the funeral of Dan Turpin, and the reason why they killed Dan Turpin in the cartoon is because Jack Kirby had just died.
Gotcha.
So he had gotten an advanced copy, and I'm like, oh my God. And I said, is that because I mean,
Death of Dan Turpin.
Exactly. Everybody was a buzz. Anyone who was in the comics world or enjoyed Superman, the animated adventures of Batman, knew that this was coming up. And I was like, oh my God, I'm surprised you guys haven't destroyed the tape rewinding. And Brian's like, yeah, sure thing. And Kevin's like, yeah, this is like my 15th time watching. And I'm like, I got to respect that. And, but we had that like moment, and it was nice. He's like, yeah, you know what? I'm a fan too. So, and I think Kevin appreciates more than anybody else the fact that, he was a fan of something as well. He was a fan of Star Wars. He was a fan of everything that went into Clerks. And so he never forgot how to be a fan. And that fandom, led to him becoming friends with Stan Lee. And I think that one of the coolest things, and this is a prediction of mine, but that Kevin is going to not take over for Stan, because nobody can take over for Stan, but Kevin is going to be the next.
He's like the spiritual successor to Stan.
Yes, he's the ambassador of nerddom.
It's that cultural association.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. I think we actually talked about that on our Stan episode. That he's the perfect guy to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, that was me.
That's no big deal.
I think the interesting thing, right? Not only does Kevin have that fandom at his core and the appreciation as a result, but the fortune. I mean, he probably is a little involved in it, but the fortune of what we've gone through in the last 20 years, really, of the very nature of fandom taking over everything, right? The combination of the internet's widely distributed ability to communicate between random people. It's made, it used to be, unless you were a fan of sports, you were kind of an outcast in a lot of the
Oh,
culture,
totally.
right?
Totally.
Same shit, right? You listen to the guys talk about stats about fan football or fantasy football, or you listen to DJ talk about the Bruins, or us talk about the Patriots, or what have you. It's the same exact crap as if I'm talking about the stats of a D&D ranger, or can Superman beat Thing, or all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
But now it's much more even. You can be a fan of whatever the hell you want, and you will find some kind of acceptability in that.
Yeah, which you never did before. So
No.
saying when I was a kid, I read the Infinity Gauntlet series. I knew who Thanos was. If I brought up to anyone, hey, there's this guy Thanos, I'd probably get stuffed in a fucking locker.
Yeah.
Now they make Thanos underwear and Thanos earrings and shit. And it's like he's fucking everywhere.
Yeah.
It's
very true.
It's insane.
But
I'll
I'll go
the shit kicked out of you.
True. Sean, I'll go you one better. I will say that Kevin was at the forefront of that acceptability. I think that it's because of him, because of Joss Whedon, because they made, what is Buffy if not the Uncanny X-Men?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He has said it before. Buffy is, directly influenced by Kitty Pryde, which is why she took front and center in his run on Astonishing X-Men.
Yep.
So Joss Whedon, Kevin, Tarantino.
Yeah.
Tarantino's a huge comic book fan. So is Samuel L. Jackson. I think that, because they brought their love of all things nerdy with them into whatever they did, it's shown through.
The continuity and the connectivity and the pop culture infused characters, right? Those characters existed in worlds where they have comic books or fandom, and they speak like that, just like we do, right? That was what Clerks was to me in 94 on a VHS tape in a fraternity house in college. Somebody brought it in. I had never heard of it, and I don't know if it was a bootleg. I don't think it was a rental. I don't know where it came from. It was in Boston, but what I heard was people talking like we talk, giving each other shit like we did, and talking about Star Wars and stuff like that. And that and what Tarantino did throughout his characters and his writing and stuff he didn't do, just it feels much more real and has helped reinforce that acceptability and the awesomeness. The fact that we can just sit here and shoot the shit about anything, and at least a couple idiots are going to listen to it. That's strange.
Hi,
nice, right? Yeah, way to treat your fan base. Love it.
No, we love these idiots. Yeah.
We're all spiritual kin.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Well, so DJ, I don't know that Mike's done a lot of cosplay. I certainly haven't. What's it like? Why do you spend the time to put together the things you do? To the point of wigs and constructing costumes and, what's the deal?
The wigs are because I have no hair, Sean.
And by the way, I think it's cool as hell. This is something that I would love to do, but I can't sew.
Yeah,
I'm
getting pretty good at it.
All right, and I'm not really good. I didn't go to Apex Tech for acetylene welding. So
the biggest thing was there's two things. Number one is my kid wanted to start doing it.
Okay,
and I refused to buy stuff out of the bag. But also, I used to be almost 400 pounds, so nothing in a bag fit me. So I always had to make my own shit if I wanted to do something. Mm-hmm. That's kind of where it started. Even just Halloween parties, I always had to make everything from scratch. It's I'm going to be the Mad Hatter from Disney one year. Well, they don't make that shit in a bag in a 5XL, so I had to make it. Okay. So that's kind of where it started. And then also, I always wanted to be stuff that you couldn't buy in a bag. You couldn't go to the store and buy a barf costume, so I had to make it from scratch. and just stuff like that. But I may have got into it with the kid.
Okay. No, that's fair. That's great.
And then, it's, like I said, I don't do it to take Instagram pictures and stuff like that. And
you do it for the pure joy of it.
It's just because it's fun to dress up.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I've seen the coolest thing is you dressing up in things that relate to the stars you're going to meet.
Oh yeah, I usually do that too.
Like Michael J. Fox, that was awesome.
Yeah, I did the Marty McFly for that. The year Kevin came to Boston, I finally got to meet Kevin. I dressed up like Kevin, obviously. Mm-hmm. I wore it again that year to Terrificon. Actually, I helped you guys host the costume contest that my kid was in.
Yes. How'd she do?
I think she came in second behind that
Beautiful.
Ghostbuster pack girl. Remember that?
Oh my God. Yeah, that was lunacy.
So yeah, circle of life. But yeah, I know. It's just something fun to do. It's like, I don't know. I love Halloween and shit anyway.
Yeah.
So it's like I can make 3 Halloweens every year. I do it.
I do hope, we've talked about it a bit, but Chris and I are not as creative and don't spend as much time on these sorts of things, but having DJ, I hope there's a chance for us to do like a 3-person costume, whether it's, some kind of Ghostbusters mashup.
Mo, Larry, and Curly.
Huey, Dewey, and Louie.
Yeah, it's,
it
sounds hot.
I'll have to buy some proton pack shells and we'll start making proton packs.
Yeah.
That'd be the easiest one to do. Expensive, but we can do it.
All right.
We can work on it. So my kid's an engineer, so she can wire everything up for us.
Fantastic.
Excellent.
Nice.
Well, so it feels like it's about top 3.
Yeah, it's about time. So as we just shoot the shit for a while, so one thing that things got really shitty yesterday. So Peter Mayhew passed away. Yeah. Peter Mayhew played Chewbacca. Chewbacca is possibly my top 5 all-time fictional characters.
Mm-hmm.
My dog is named Chewbacca.
Nice.
I have Star Wars tattoos on my body. I have millions of Chewbacca items in my house, so that one hurt. I'm kind of, after Carrie, unfortunately, I'm kind of getting used to this kind of thing happening with the Star Wars characters.
Unfortunately.
It's not, I mean...
We know Harrison's coming. I mean, hopefully not for the next 20 years.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna be fucking wrecked that day. It's bad enough I got offered. I actually got offered a week of bereavement at work for when Carrie Fisher died.
Oh, really?
Because they knew I'm that into it. But
okay.
So in memory of Chewbacca, who I think is the absolute greatest movie sidekick / you could call him a pet, whatever.
Are you sure? Because I would much rather call Han Solo his pet.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Well,
that's true.
How old is Chewie? He's like...
That's true.
He's like 230 years old?
Yeah, he's up there.
So, yeah, I mean,
And like most pet owners, he saw his pet predecease him.
Of course. He's
as sad as it is.
Of course.
That was sad, yeah.
Do you think that was like his 3rd or 4th Han Solo?
Jeez.
And
Yeah.
He went back to Mos Eisley to
keep naming
get another rescue.
Yes.
Adopt a smuggler.
I'm not sure I can ever not think that now, Mike.
It makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
It purely does.
I don't know, but Chewbacca was awesome. I mean, I think for a lot of kids, Chewbacca might have been like their first imaginary friend or pet kind of thing. Everyone's first impression was probably like the Wookiee roar.
Of course.
Yeah.
So kind of thing. So it was a big deal. I've met the guy a couple times. Hero was the sweetest guy.
Yes, he was amazing. He was on Comic Book Men.
Yeah.
He was one of the nicest guys you'd ever want to meet.
And unlike, I've met some other people who are known for one thing really heavy. He embraced the fuck out of that.
Oh, hell yeah.
He had no, and he actually the character, he makes the character, those are his eyes.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, all the granted, Chewie doesn't emote a lot, but the eyes do a lot and to help you kind of fall in love with that character.
And
it's a big part of it.
His roar was,
Yeah.
It's, I mean, that emoted,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. So, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, DJ. I didn't mean to make you. You were getting a little choked up there.
I was.
Okay.
I take the shit to heart. So
I don't blame you. It's the truth. This is.
So it was tough. That sucked.
That's there is never a happy ending to any love story. I hate to be that blunt. I hate to just piss all over your childhood, but it's true.
I know.
It's there. Everything comes an end, but that's what makes it so great.
Everything is dog shit.
No, not everything is dog shit. Everything is. The reason why it's not dog shit is because everything is finite. If it went on forever, it'd be like, this sucks. How do I get out of this?
We talked about it last week. We did an Endgame thing, and I cried like a little fucking bitch almost the entire movie.
Yeah, well, I didn't, not the whole movie, but I mean, even after I'm walking out, I'm walking out with my wife and my kids, and my wife said, "So you got a little choked up there?" I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Well, which part was the one?" And I was like, "Well, I started to get choked up. I'm like, I can't talk about this. I'm like, if you want to see me cry again, then we'll talk about it. But no,
no. Even the second time through, the Cap stuff still got me.
Yeah.
Like I had to.
Let's not.
No, I didn't say what it was. It was. Anyway, so Shawn, I got an idea. So we're gonna do in memory of Chewie, we're gonna do top 3 fictional pets or non-human characters. So like it could be anything from animation, TV, movies, whatever.
Okay.
Sound good, Shawn?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
So I'm going to start with a few honorable mentions.
Okay.
Eddie, the dog from Frasier. Marcel,
Damn you.
Marcel, the monkey from Friends.
I hated
Punxsutawney
Friends.
Phil from Groundhog Day.
Okay,
Just
very
from
nice.
that "Don't Drive Angry" scene from the trailer.
That was
always has
awesome.
Stuck with me.
May I throw
Those are
one? May I throw one into
Yeah.
your pile?
Yeah.
Annie's boobs from Community. The monkey that was that stole
Yes.
all of. Yeah, Annie's boobs was great.
Yeah. Any other honorable mentions, Mike?
And no?
Oh, I mean, I can go Dino. Actually, no. Dino's one of my top three.
Okay.
So, but for
Yeah, don't spoil it.
I would say the Do family, the entire Shaggy, Scooby,
Reggie?
not Shaggy, Scooby, Scrappy, and
What's that one called? Like,
Stupid Do.
yeah,
No, it was a,
Dopey, Dummy Do or
No, it
something?
was a Crappy Do. It should have been
Oh,
Crappy, but
yeah,
it wasn't.
yeah, he sucked.
Scooby Dumb. That's who it was. He wasn't a part of the Do family. He was Scooby Dumb. So
He was a do-in-law.
Yeah.
yeah, right.
I went
Or an inbred.
Yes, I had Scooby Doo almost made it, but I wasn't as much of a Scooby Doo person. My daughter was, but
Gotcha.
my honorable mentions. I'm doing my Disney characters as honorables because I could just go on about Disney all day. But I'm going Stitch and Apu.
Okay.
So two
okay.
of the best two Disney
Actually-
pets, I think.
Very nice.
I
So,
love Stitch.
I do love Stitch too, but
Ohana means family.
yeah. I also love Apu. Aladdin's probably my favorite animated Disney movie. So
I love a
and-
monkey.
Yeah, and he's a monkey too. So monkeys are awesome. So I'll go Stitch and Apu.
Annie's boobs.
There
Sorry, I just had to throw that out.
Nothing wrong with that.
Shawn, what do you got for number 3?
So my number 3, Jonesy the cat from Alien.
Oh,
Very
shit.
nice.
Motherfucker.
Right? I saw that probably younger than I should have. But having the cat in there as both a spook device and they're in space, but it's still, they got a cat, so they're human, and it's just a future set of realistic, working class folks, and then a lady with her cat. It just added an element that I really loved, and it's always stuck with me. Jonesy the cat.
Good pull.
How about you, Mike?
Number 3 is Dino because I spoiled it
Dino.
before. Dino,
Yeah.
Dino Flintstone. I mean, Fred hated it that Dino would jump on him, but the friggin' animal loved him. So
Yeah.
get over yourself, Fred, you dick.
Fred Flintstone was kind of an asshole when you go back and watch it.
Oh my god, yeah.
Nice. Dino, good pull.
So that's my number 3.
Excellent.
My number 3, I'm going Falcor from the Neverending Story, the Luck Dragon.
Oh,
Wow.
interesting.
So I wanted, when I was a kid, I thought you could go get one of those. I wanted a Luck Dragon.
Now I've got that dumb song in my head.
Oh, from that guy from Kajagoogoo.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good luck, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was a super cool character. The scene when the kids ride him at the end, they chase the bullies into the dumpster, stuff like that. So just that's old timey childhood memory shit right there. So I'm going Falcor.
Okay.
So that's actually not a bad segue into my number 2, Toothless the Dragon
Oh!
from How to Train Your Dragon. We have a black cat with yellow eyes that is kind of stupid and strange and has, cute expressions and weirdness. And we saw this movie, me and my 2 daughters and my wife. And of course, immediately, all we could see was our cat, with wings and everything. And, those big eyes and the way they animate them made those movies for us. There's so much character in that, stupid dragon. So Toothless has to be my number 2.
My number 2 is Hobbs from Calvin and Hobbes.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Because he's awesome.
Awesome.
That's
He is.
That's all you need to know.
I can't believe I forgot about Hobbs. I can't believe it. That's amazing. My
One of
number
the hallmarks of the top 3 is lack of preparation and broad topics means it's almost impossible for us to be not surprised by the random crap coming out of the others. So
Damn straight.
That's a perfect example.
exactly, and we always forget shit too.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
my number 2, going back to things from the 80s I wanted to have, I'm going Gizmo from Gremlins.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Gizmo was the shit.
Gizmo was going to be one of my top 3, but he got edged out by my number 1.
Yeah, he does have a lot of rules. He's kind of a pain in the ass to deal with, but
Sure.
especially like
It's not his fault.
no, it's not. But especially like Gizmo's 2, Gremlins 2 Gizmo with like the Rambo shit. And when I was a kid and I realized that Bobby from Bobby's World and Gizmo was the same guy, it blew my little tiny fucking mind. That one was like, so it's kind of made it even better. So I realized that Harry Mandel actually voiced Gizmo. That was a big thing for me. So, but he was just super cute and he has the little song and everything. And I had the Gizmo Furby back in the day and shit. So
fantastic.
Going Gizmo.
I thought about Gizmo. Definitely popped into mind. But my number 1, I know Mike probably would remember. I don't know if you do, DJ. Muffet from the original Battlestar Galactica.
Absolutely. Muffy the Daggett, yes.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Right. I loved Star Wars. Saw it opening weekend when I was, I guess, 6 or something, and loved that. And when I saw Battlestar Galactica, I saw a lot of the same stuff: space and spaceships and lasers, and so I watched that like crazy. And then when I was, I think 7, so 1978, 79 time frame, I went to Los Angeles to spend the summer with my dad, and we went to Universal Studios. They had an animal show, and they brought out Muffet the Daggett, and it's a chimp in a costume, but making the noises and moving like a weird, strange, orange, furry robot dog thing. And that's just always stuck with me, as it was one of the first times I saw something. I'm like, I want one of those. It's the best thing in the world.
And you went backstage, and there was the monkey smoking a cigarette, holding on to the thing, going, God damn this one. Fucking showbiz sucks.
They did actually take the helmet off the monkey so you could see, that it was a chimp and kind of...
and that it was sweating like profusely.
Yes.
Like, it's dehydrated, so what?
We'll get another monkey if it dies.
I have a picture of it someplace, like a real poorly developed, 16 millimeter Instamatic or something.
That's awesome.
But yes, Muffet.
My number 1 is a tearjerker because it gets me every single time. Every single time. And because I'm a dog lover.
Oh.
Seymour Butts from Futurama.
Oh yeah, that was sad as hell.
That was a cartoon reached into my chest, pulled out my heart, and held it in front of my crying eyes.
I thought you were going to go Old Yeller for a while. For a minute.
No. Did that surprise you? Right, in terms of it is a cartoon, and it's ludicrously silly and stupid generally, but the ability to affect you like that, it's interesting.
It did. It came out of left field.
Yeah, especially for that show.
Futurama was silly, but it was also much more cerebral than The Simpsons. And The Simpsons is quite cerebral. I mean, there's some wordplay in there that is amazing. So I was the fact that they were able to just knee me in the groin, pull out my heart. I love Seymour.
Because I was when he just kept sitting in front of the pizza place as it changed buildings and everything. Yeah,
you saw him out in the middle of rainstorms, snow. He was the loyalest dog ever.
Yeah,
that's my favorite kind of comedy or drama writing, is the stuff that earns actual emotion out of you in a surprising way while still doing its job, thrilling and
make you laugh. Yeah. I mean, that was one of the funniest ones ever, and they still got me right at the end.
Yeah.
So
Good call.
Bastards.
Good call.
I hate whenever a pet dies.
I know.
Okay, so my number 1, I'm going Snoopy. Snoopy. I'm a huge Peanuts person. Massive. Okay. I watch all the holiday specials every year.
Person?
Yes, huge penis person. No. Peanuts, Shawn.
You got to watch the slur in there. Come on, DJ.
That's how I ended up all these weird mailing lists.
Oh, this is yes. I'm a penis person. So,
sorry, I totally agree. I grew up with Snoopy and Woodstock were huge,
and Spike.
So that's
his
great.
cousin.
His cousin Spike.
I mean, I too am a huge Snoopy fan. When Snoopy got the little sick girl. Remember that special?
Yes.
He was at the pound, and poor little sick girl was like loving him up, and but he had Charlie Brown.
Yep.
He had the Sophie's Choice.
Yeah.
You're like Snoopy's Choice. That's awesome. So it's I truly commend you on that one. Actually, all of them are great choices.
And of course, Chewbacca's at the top of the heap.
Of
That's
course.
why
Well,
he's
but
according to Mike, it's Han Solo's at the top of the heap.
Yeah, Han Solo is at the top of the heap.
Number one pet. Okay, so Shawn, you had Jonesy the Cat from Aliens, Toothless, and Muffet from Battlestar Galactica.
Yep.
Mike went Dino, Hobbs, and Seymour Butts, and I had Falcor, Gizmo, and Snoopy. Not bad.
That's a wide-ranging set.
No overlap at all.
No, I'm pretty impressed.
She doesn't
Except
happen.
Eddie the dog, you did steal from me, and you and I almost went to blows on Gizmo.
Yeah, we almost.
Well, I really appreciate you guys being able to call me into this. Sorry I wasn't able to make it down, but
your safety comes first, for God's sakes. Don't go dying on us.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good one.
bye-bye.